All right, go ahead.
I like that intro a lot.
I do too.
Everybody, welcome to PDQ Live. It is Patch Tuesday, so we are doing PDQ A, where people ask their questions, and Andrew and Glenn answer them.
Perfect. We're just going to sit here.
Glenn, answer
I like
them.
it.
All right. Do we need more lead into that, or are we just gonna jump in?
Well, if we'd like to jump. Actually, one thing before we get started, if you notice, there is a poll going, and this is your chance to vote on what we do next week. It's like an all-request webcast.
That is if you're watching this live.
If you're watching this live.
If you're not, you missed it. Sorry.
You missed out. But yeah, just vote for what you would like us to do next week. What do we have? We've got Scheduling 101. That's just basics. Collection and report filters. Removing bloatware from Windows 11. And PDQ A Part 2. So this is your chance to have your voices heard. And we'll probably abide by the results. Maybe.
Yes.
Okay, we'll abide by the results.
It's pretty much a given at this point, unless we get a whole lot of people that are into scheduling. So.
All
right. Are we ready to dive in?
Let's do it. First question.
Do it. All righty.
Since Print Nightmare, what is the best way to deploy printers shared from a Windows print server? Is there a good way to install or report on shared printers using PDQ Deploy? I can see local printers that are installed in PDQ Inventory, but not the shared printers. Sincerely, Austin S.
This is one of my favorite Jordan stories. Please tell.
This one?
Yeah.
So I like this one because the question came in early so I could do prep. So to me, the answer, even with Print Nightmare, because after Print Nightmare, there were months and months of critical errors because everyone was attacking it. The spooler service was at risk. There hasn't been one of those in 4 or 5 months, so I think it's safe to go. For me, when it comes to printers, the answer is group policy.
Yes.
But not everyone can use group policy. So in that case, there are a couple of options, and this is going to surprise you. I use PowerShell.
I'm shocked.
Yeah. So on this one, I have 2 different scripts here. The top one, if you have a print server, that's it. Add printer, give the connection name, and it'll point to it. That'll connect it. If you don't have a print server, things get a little more complicated. I have a blog on this. We have a webcast on this.
Like the most popular webcast ever.
It was a very popular one.
Yeah.
And oh, 1 second. If I can even get it down. There we go. Maybe. There we go.
Exhilarating.
Let's see it's going. Let me know when that's up. Are we good?
Yeah, there we go. Well done.
We should have tested that in the pre-show when we test things.
Yeah. We were busy restarting
We were busy getting
all the machines.
Yeah.
I'm really tired today, guys.
Okay, yeah.
Go for
So once again, top line here, add printer. If you have a print server, this works.
Okay, yeah.
This next one, if you don't have a print server, there are some setup for this one. One, you have to install the drivers on the local machine. You have to name that driver within a specific name. So the way I set up the example in the webcast, if you wanted to watch that, is I installed the printer locally, and then I went in there and grabbed all the drivers and the INF file. And then it's just right there, this PMP util. It is not a PowerShell command, but you can run it from PowerShell, where you basically, I just went in and loaded all the INF files, and that adds the drivers to that machine for that printer. That's a very important one. Unless the drivers are there by default, you do need to make sure those are in the right area. It by default puts them in Windows System 32 driver store.
Okay.
In there. And then this name, I pulled from the INF file that we just called in there. If you go in there, there'll be a section that's like OEM, and it'll have a list of drivers' names. It has to match those, or it's going to error out when you are adding the print driver. And then you build the port, add the printer with that, with everything you built out. So there's a lot of steps to that. I do have a blog following that process beginning to end. That won't make it a shared printer. That will put it a local printer, but you can get everyone set up that way.
Okay, so I'm going to take this script and I'm going to put it in deploy. Yes?
In deploy, but wherever, you want to change file share to where your actually is, make sure you have that enough file.
Yeah,
so there is some setup to do in that one. But the blog will walk step by step.
Or the webcast.
The webcast as well. So the ideal group policy, not a group policy, use PowerShell to use the file server, the print server, And then if no other option, that one will install it locally. There was a part 2 of that question. I'm trying to go fast because I know it's PDQ A. is, can we track it? And yes. So it's a quick PowerShell scanner that I built here. I don't have any printers on this one, so I can showcase what I have in here, but I can't really run it. And it's just this get-printer where object shared equals true. That's going to give every single shared computer in that environment. If I remove the where object part and we do look at local instead of just shared, it will come back with results. So we'll do that one real quick. And then while that's running, I'll go over the collections and everything that we have. So if you're looking to track a certain printer, in this case, an asterisk, so if any printer is found, it will go add it to a collection. This will just kind of give you a collection. Like if you have a particular printer you're looking to remove, you could go in and say the whatever printer in the copy room, every machine that has that, so you can see who has that, and so you can go through and remove it. And the other way to do that would be with a report, where you keep the computer name, not filters. And then you're going to go down to the table after you do the scan. And share name, I believe, is the one I'm looking for. And then run that report. I don't have any printers, as we stated. So it has that, but this will come down and give you the computer name and all the printers. So you can come in here and say which computers, like by computer name, which ones they have, sort by group. Or you can sort by the printer name, and it will give you the printer name and every computer that has it. So that's a way with the inventory that you can track your printers.
So I love that. If I'm replacing a copier, I could run that, and then I know where it is, and then just remove it. Oh, I love it.
Yep.
Okay.
So I know that was a long one, but that was a pre-question that came in, and it's an involved answer, but there we go.
I love that one.
Yep.
That's why we love pre-questions. Lets us do a little research beforehand. Well done. All right, next question. This one might include Glenn. Yes. If you were getting a group of new desktops and wanted to use SmartDeploy to image all of them the same way, how is it best to begin? Do I have to install the SmartDeploy file on each desktop before I can start reimaging? Is there a better way? Terry,
Well, Terry, I prefer to interact with the pre-installed OS on a machine that comes fresh from the factory with whatever version of Windows, whatever bloatware is installed on it. I prefer to interact with that OS as little as possible. So I don't even power it on until I plug in some sort of external device. That's going to be SmartDeploy's USB boot media, or it's going to be WDS boot media, so you'll be Pixie booting. The option that you suggested of installing the SmartDeploy client on there and then doing a console-initiated deployment once it shows up in the console will still get you to the same Windows PE environment where it can proceed with the deployment using whatever answer file you specified. But there is absolutely no reason to do it that way. If you're planning on blowing away the OS that came with it in the first place, ignore the OS entirely. Don't log in, don't create a username, don't install the client. Just boot it to something external and you'll be on your way.
all right. Glenn was on Tara's team?
Yeah.
Okay.
Good job, Glenn.
I'm pretty sure y'all crushed that one.
I'm not sure that counts, but okay.
You're not sure
JJ,
that counts.
JJ, hush up.
All right, next question. Hi, all. Love you guys. You all been an amazing and huge part of my learning in the world of IT. My question is, what are some skills / certs you think are useful for today's age of sysadmining? I love that word, by the way. Do you have any favorites that you thought were useless at first, but turned out to be an amazing assist? Devin N.
We talked about this a lot, actually, in a couple of our webcasts with you, me, and Josh. We kind of talked about, do they help when you get hired? And I think the consensus was we all don't really care necessarily. But you know the ones I've been seeing a lot? The security ones.
So I would say outside of just for hiring practices, which ones have value?
Yeah.
Do some research. There's some to test to see if you can pass the test. There's some tests to see if you know the knowledge.
Yeah.
I personally, never had a cert, but for the skill side of it, I would say if you're just starting out, there is no wrong answer.
Yeah,
because there might be something out there that you truly love, you haven't found it yet, and all of IT ties together. So having a broad set of skills is going to make you better at everything you do starting out until you find which, if you choose to specialize where you're going to. In my case, I have a college degree in networking, which I've never used, but it was extremely helpful when I was an Exchange admin. So a lot of IT skills do cross over. So I would say if you're starting out, learn everything. Just whatever interests you, pick it up, learn it, and it's going to help you in some way. If you're a little bit later, you're looking to specialize, just whatever you like best, go find the specific cert. I don't have any. As far as do you know the knowledge, CCNA I think seems to be the top tier of networking if you can pass that.
Yeah. I'm going to say security. That seems like where the jobs are right now.
I would echo what you just said about the value of learning everything, but I can also just say, having recently hired a solutions engineer for our team, and we're still hiring for additional solutions engineers. When we see certs on somebody's resume, personally, when I look at them, I say, "Oh, that's nice to have." But what that gives me is an avenue of questioning to bring up during the interview, because just having a cert might mean that you've consumed some knowledge on that subject, but it may or may not mean that you have much practical utility when it comes to that subject. So, and because any sysadmin job is so much about being a jack of all trades, very much just learn whatever you can for its own sake. Learn whatever you think might be useful to you, and there's a good chance that over time you will just be able to spot what's wrong. You'll be able to spot what's out of whack. You'll be able to spot the unstated assumptions and what somebody is asking you. So yeah, they're all useful.
For me, I think that it's important to know, what roles are you looking for? Are you just trying to get a little bit better? If you're looking for a particular role, what story are you trying to tell? Like, what details are on your resume that would point to you being a good candidate for a particular job? And certificates can certainly come into play with that. If you're going for roles that have a heavy security background and you're seeing that a lot of them require or request or suggest that you have this particular cert, you should go for that. But if you're not at that point where you're going for something specific, just chase your passions. Like, getting exposed and actually learning things is so useful. Yeah, some good stuff.
Yeah.
Kind of going back to what Tara said, Kevin in the chat said he got his degree in networking, but specialized more out to desktop engineering later. But he has security certs, which definitely look good on, resume builders. And that's true. I mean, like Tara mentioned, that is a hot job market right there. And so anything you could do that really just says security on it, it's going to help. Okay. Next question. What do you do when you work in an environment that doesn't appreciate automation? How do you show your boss that automation is worth the effort? Feels like I'm living in the dark ages. Sincerely, Jay.
This is such a backwards way of thinking. So the biggest one I've ever seen, or the most common where managers like automation is, well, once you leave, no one's going to be able to maintain it, which is, I hate it. Because I guess what the boss I'd bring up is, if you've gone through and you built up automation that's adding value, instead of just saying, well, it's useless once you're gone, he should be saying, can you teach your employee or the other employees how to do this? It should be a learning tool. To make everyone at least be able to maintain the script. So that way you keep the value for all time. The idea that you're happily letting someone silo and you're willing to just lose something that valuable if they go somewhere else, which with that attitude, it feels like you're encouraging them to go somewhere else. I hate it. So I would just talk to them about, as this is an opportunity to teach everyone or showcase what you did so they can start learning the basics so everyone can maintain it. And then everyone, if someone finds passion in it, they're going to build on it, and everyone they're better off for it.
Yeah, I agree, but I think you have to present it to them in a way that they can understand and retain that information and see the value. And this is something that is really hard to do with IT professionals speaking to executives. So in my opinion, the way to get that across is to use verbiage and language and come to the table with that data. Numbers are great too. Cost saving numbers, budgeting numbers. Show them the value in that work. Cost savings is a great way to get across to executives. You have to show them how this is a value add for the business. That's always what works with executives.
Yeah, a good manager should be taking that, and they should be empowering you to train other people.
Yes.
Everyone get value from it.
But see, they don't understand technology.
And just because, what did we talk about last week? Over 1 billion sessions in PowerShell every month now.
Yeah.
PowerShell's not going away, it's just growing. Automation is the future.
Yeah.
And the idea that only 1% of your team can know it is wrong.
Yeah, but I think, in my opinion, having interface with executives, they don't even understand what PowerShell is. So you have to step back a few steps and explain the workflow. But again, they don't even care about that. What is the value add to the company? Start there.
Yeah.
Get them on your side.
Speaking of what Tara was saying about data, what I would focus on is the number of person hours involved in a particular task. If you are automating something, you can do a certain number of that operation in a given workday. It takes this many people to do the amount of that operation that we need. This many people has this cost associated with it. So do we want to hire 2 more people, or do we want to teach the ones we have how to automate?
That's right.
And that might be a language that they'll understand.
Yep.
We used to have something on the website actually that was it was a calculator that would show you how much time you save by automating this, and then that translated into dollars based on an hourly, rate for a sysadmin. And so it was something that was, you could print out and show your boss, look, we're saving this much time, this much in soft cost, and it lets us do other things. Another thing that you could do, automate something for your boss. I mean, for that executive, take something off their plate through automation just to get that foot in the door and show them how effective it can be.
Yeah.
I completely agree with that. And everyone had pretty much perfect points. A phrase that comes to my mind is make your work visible and transparent. They have to, if you're investing a lot of man hours into automating things and then you just silently automate the process and don't really tell anyone outside of maybe a small message to somebody, probably isn't going to bode well for you. You need to make sure you're communicating and making your efforts and improvements visible and trying to break those down into numbers. If that's the type of place that your boss isn't understanding, break it down into terms that they can understand.
Come up with a cool code name for it. Call it Project Phoenix or something.
No, for real.
And
I'm not even joking when I say that. If you need to brand your automations to make them visible, absolutely do that. Whatever gets people's attention on them.
Yep. Small attention to details goes such a long way, especially with non-technical types, right? If you're using bullet points and emojis and, doing things, presenting things in a nicer way, it goes a lot longer. And you mentioned helping out your boss. Doing the cross-departmental things is also a way that personally I had a lot of success with getting respect for the automation. It's like, okay, we helped out accounting with some kind of business process type deal. Wow, this is more than just IT stuff.
Yep. Okay, next question. This is a good one. How can I leverage my PDQ expertise for a pay raise? Sincerely, Fortress.
Well, hopefully you don't have a manager that doesn't see value in automation.
In my opinion, it's
Step 1.
It's the reporting. Again, data. Managers love data.
So automation is always a process, and PDQ removes a lot of the boundaries when it comes to software. So things like the Windows updates, where you're saving who knows how much time, or if you can use PDQ to go through and give a list or report. We talked about your manager or boss. Here's all the software that's up to date or was up to date yesterday. Here's proof that it's all up to date. That's huge value. That's everyone's software is the most secure version is the most up to date.
Yeah.
And so PDQ within 5 minutes, you can start updating all the software across your environment and give an ongoing report to your boss so he can see all of the machines you're touching. If that doesn't make the case, I don't know what will.
Yeah, I would leverage reporting for everything because you're in fact eliminating out an entire program that you would need to introduce into your environment because of that. I've been using your PowerShell command on my VMs, and guess what? Works perfect.
All right. Moving right along, next question. What is the best practice to detect an APPX package for collections in inventory? Kevin B.
So
PowerShell.
Absolute PowerShell. So APPX is user specific, not machine specific. Well, you have APPX provisions package, which installs machine wide for every time there's a new user, and just APPX package, which is user specific. So anything you built with PowerShell or with PDQ in it, you want to make sure you run it against logged on user. They did recently change, I say recently, but it's been a while now, where you can do remove for all users. And same, but if you're looking for just track who has it, it's only going to find, I guess, who's currently logged on. So keep that in mind. So the first thing to do, if you're looking to remove APPX package, hit provisioned package first. That's going to prevent it from updating and reinstalling in the future. And then APPX package on the per user basis where you can track on the per user who has it, and then you can target the removal.
Should we see what Tim and Marcel say?
Yep.
Tim and Marcel, do you say yay? Thumbs up to that?
I think Jordan already got the point.
I think he did, but we need to include our team members here. Come on.
I've done APPX packages many, many times.
Oh, Tim already said yes. So okay, we're good.
All right.
If he disagreed with you, you would have gotten 0. Just saying.
Cancel me out.
All right, next question. What are your favorite tools for creating silent deployment packages out of existing EXEs that are not documented well? Fortress.
If I really need to dive in, because the first thing I go is I check out the documentation of whichever the software's website. Hopefully they have all the silent parameters there. Outside of that, the one I probably would lean on most, and this might be too much too fast, is I use Orca, where you can dive into it. And I thought that's MSI specific, not
We like MSIs.
not EXE. So as far as tracking it down, I mostly just rely on documentation and forums, just because there is no set standard. And all its spells, try capital S /S first.
Yeah, force is silent. Let's see what these guys say.
If barring that, if /S doesn't do the job, and I'll run it sandboxed, so I'm not endangering my own machine, or I'll run it on a VM. But sometimes executable /? will give you something useful, or it will at the very least tell you what installer framework was used to package that. You can then look up that installer framework and see if there are any standard options for that. MSI exec obviously has its own standard ones. We do love MSIs, but there are a billion and one different ways to package an executable, and they all behave slightly differently. So you might be able to find something that is generic across all users of like setup installer or whichever other one they're using.
Cool.
I'm glad we were on the same page on that, Glenn.
Look, Tim said your same thing. You and Tim.
I told you we've been talking.
I know your money's
There you go. Look at that. All right, next question. Have you run into a package that silent installs locally, but prompts for admin or response through deploy? Any workarounds? James D.
When would that happen?
Well, I have not seen that. The only case I can't even think of
Installs
how we create
locally,
it.
but
So
prompts for
if you were
admin.
seeing that and it's for a particular bit of software, I would open up a ticket with us on that one. I know it's not the ideal answer, but our solutions department is really good at that stuff. I haven't run it myself, so I don't have a good answer. I would say ask solutions. If it's a common software, they probably have run into it and might have an answer for you.
Let's see if anyone has an answer.
My usual thing if someone has an issue with a package is, does it run successfully and silently from an elevated command prompt running as the deploy user? My question would be, is it actually running silently? And then definitely open up a ticket, because there might be something funky with that installer. And I am sorry that you have to deploy that in your environment, if so, because what are they doing?
Yeah.
I would also just say, if you can't isolate any misbehavior in the installer itself, try to identify something different about the machines where it is succeeding versus the machines where it is failing. And they might be in different update states. They might be different versions of Windows. There might be some prereq that was installed on your test machine that is not installed on the target machine, that sort of thing. So something where it's kicking off a secondary process that's triggering a UAC prompt.
So Fortress in the chat said he's seen it where sometimes it's still running silently, but they have to run it as interactive in the endpoint, which...
That's what it's prompting. Okay.
So if it's still running silently, that's good to know. If there is particular software, we should get documentation on that, just because a lot of more people are going to run into that hurdle if a couple of people have.
Yeah. So do a ticket and maybe report back in Discord so we know the answer?
Yeah.
I want to know.
Yeah. Join that Discord. That Discord channel. You can throw that invite in the chat there, Andrew. All right. Next question. This is kind of a follow-up from James D. What massage chair is that in the intro? My company is working on a relaxation room, and it just makes me sad at the moment.
I love that thing.
A sad room.
So that chair has been outside my office, like almost right outside my office, for going on 3 years now, and for that video was the first time I ever sat in it.
What?
That is extremely comfortable chair.
No way.
Yeah.
Does
Oh my
anyone else ever use it?
I use it every day for my social time, you guys. I love it.
Social time with yourself, yes.
Is that what you mean by social time?
Yes.
This is
I had no idea.
We are now learning.
I come to work, I get my water, and that's when I do my social and do my
But to answer
Slack.
the question, does anyone know what type it is?
I know the answer, guys.
Okay,
I
Chase
know
knows.
the answer.
All right.
So I don't know the exact name or brand or whatever, but it's from RC Willie. It's the $7,000 massage chair. There's only one of them there. I've gone and looked. It's from RC Willie. You got to go get it.
Well,
It's the best.
RC Willie isn't everywhere.
RC Willie is everywhere.
No, it's not.
It really isn't. Chase, you really haven't been out of Utah, have you?
That's a Utah
So not only is that mostly Utah-specific store. The price point, I said it's been outside my office for years. So to expect the price point to stay the same 3 years later is also...
Okay, so we'll put it in Discord after this, okay? I'll go look at it.
Well, Jordan, I'm like you. I've been here 7 years. I've sat in it twice. Yeah. So, yeah.
You guys, you need to use it.
It is extremely comfortable.
It's
I haven't sat in
fantastic.
it since it was in the old building.
Oh, it's so good.
I used it all the time when I was working out in the old building. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it.
Good recovery, muscle recovery system.
Well, there we go.
Negative points for Chase.
And he stole my mic so that he could say that.
Because I still have him muted.
I was just going to say, if you want something a little cheaper and more portable, get yourself a massage gun.
Oh,
There's-
The best. Oh yeah, there it is.
There's one of those
On
in
hand
the
all
thing.
the time, man.
Yep.
Gotta
They
have
work
it.
so well. But there are 1,000,000,001 crappy knockoffs on Amazon, so just be careful which one. Do a little bit of research.
Clint,
on them.
you got to show that we both have ours on hand
Yes, we
randomly.
do.
Oh my gosh.
that is awesome.
Yeah.
Guns out, boys.
We're
Mine
athletes.
isn't
What
that
can we
far
say?
away.
After a long day of pickleballing.
That's good. All right. Well, let's move on. Next question. Do you all have any thoughts on the new Secure Boot CVE that came out on Patch Tuesday? Chris S.
So I went through all. I don't recall the Secure Boot one. It must have been. It wasn't either already actively hacked or wasn't one of the 9.8s, which are the three that I covered on. So I don't have thoughts on that one specifically. Do you have, I guess, more information on, I guess, what it did?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. So I guess on that one, unfortunately, that is not one that I recapped, I guess, for this month. Oh, CVE, I'm going to look it up.
249.32.
Tim knows. The ad remediation is a pain. Deploy is useful for taking care of that. Let's look it up in real time.
I'm doing it right now.
Let's do it. Yeah.
You guys, but while I'm typing, you have to keep the conversation going.
Okay.
That's how this works.
Okay. Going
Let's do
back
it.
to
Yeah,
massage
0 days are
chairs.
bad. I don't like them. I'm not a fan as a general rule. So.
They are bad. They're very bad. Immersive Labs. Jordan's looking.
Oh, so the reason I missed it is because the threat score wasn't high, and then the first line from the video I popped up here is it deserves a considerably higher threat score.
Oh,
Wow, okay.
and there it is.
That blog.
All right, so let's go. So I will read up on this one, and if someone says it should be a 9.8, so I'll read up on this one. If there's more to it, I will add an addendum to the blog.
There's
that I
so
have on that.
many. Come on.
Well, this one there's only two 9.8, so there's only 38 total or 36 total.
It was a small month.
Very light month for the thing, but where I missed this one, and if it should be a higher score,
Yeah.
I will read up on this and I will update our blog with the latest information, but I don't have anything
Well,
relevant.
the Secure Boot one that I saw specifically seems like it requires physical access to the device. So I saw there were 3 different ones in the blog post you mentioned there, so it may or may not have been the same one the person was asking about.
So the third one I did that was local, I did that one because that was already actively hacked, and that was using the Win32K process, I believe.
And Tim just said it requires physical or admin access
Okay.
to the
Oh,
device.
so that's why it's a
Yeah.
lighter score then. But
exactly.
I don't know. I think physical access gives people a false sense of security because in their mind it means they have to be actively at the computer terminal, which is not the case.
Right.
It's definitely less at risk than a remote execution, but it's not nothing. So if it's severe enough and the only reason they're lowering it down is because it's local, it's definitely worth taking a look at.
Yeah.
All right. Next question. PDQ says a device needs a reboot. You reboot it and it still says it needs reboot after a rescan. Why?
Why?
So I know for that one, I don't know every area we look at 3 or 4 different areas, and I don't know if we have the documentation. I'm going to rely on Andrew to find that because I'm speaking for him.
I'll
here.
post it again. I did earlier. I got you, man.
Okay.
It's in chat.
Yeah, so it looks in 3 or 4 different areas to define if it needs reboot. So if you are rebooting and it's not showing up there, one of those areas has something stuck where it still sees the need. So I would go through and look at those areas to see if it's something that maybe can be cleared out manually.
That would drive me absolutely crazy.
And
Entry can persist for some apps.
then Tim followed with, okay, if it can persist, yeah, so if it's the app. So it's just, I would follow through the documentation that Andrew's put in there on whatever machine showing that, and track it down and see if you find anything specific where you can clear that out manually, because something's not clearing on the reboot, which, I mean, all we do is look in those areas. We can't go deeper than that.
That would be the kind of thing that would push me over the edge, honestly. I would. You know me. So I would definitely, second reboot usually fixes it. Oh, yeah, I'd do that right away.
Just keep rebooting it until it goes away.
That's what we did this morning. Right here. We did it.
Have you tried a second reboot?
I don't think he knows about second reboot, JJ.
Apparently not.
Have you tried turning it on and off
again?
Again?
All right. Next question then. What is the status of having a front end for users to install approved software on demand? CloudStrife.
So the main issue for that one to deploy an inventory was licensing, whereas per admin, so having users being able to go in there would technically break licensing. If you're using Connect, whereas per device, it should be something you could build out. I haven't dove in and take a look at that yet, but the problem with deploying inventory for something like a user console where they can just go in there is a licensing issue more than a product limitation.
Yeah. So like a self-service that the users can initiate.
Yep.
Like SCCM, like a nightmare, kill me. Okay, gotcha.
I'm reading the Discord. That doesn't sound like me.
Okay, we have 2 more questions in the queue. Let's go. May 2023 Windows patches aren't showing up for me. Anyone else having this issue? Kevin.
Boy, I hope not. They should be there. I'm gonna look at this live. That's not what I want.
As we all click check for updates.
Right?
Everything
I got to spell Windows right.
Windows.
That might be why.
Let's see what we have here.
So,
I just want to open up my window here.
oh, the poll. I'm going to look at the poll while you're doing that. Oh, were you
I would
right?
also say that they're going to roll it out in waves for the public, and also in your environment, there could be some controls over which updates you're getting. They might need to be approved. They might be rolled out in particular rings. It depends on how directly involved you are with that process. So,
what am I looking for here?
Created.
I've lost myself.
The date? Oh, you had it.
I did?
You had it, but it was
it's a
3.
little bit
Okay.
to the-
Yeah.
Let me just keep scrolling until someone says stop here.
Keep going. No, stop.
There we go. Modified.
Grade modified 5.4. So it is showing up for me. So if you are not seeing up to date, definitely open up a ticket because we did get those out on Tuesday.
It's 5.4 wasn't Tuesday though.
Well, I see a 5.8 above it. I did a second ago.
No.
Did
Are we
you-
looking for like 5.9 though?
I thought I did.
I guess maybe we got it in early.
No,
Did you
it's too late.
reboot?
Oh, I'm looking at the PS Windows updates, not the Windows 10 updates.
Gonna say that.
I was looking at the PS Windows updates, the non-standard ones.
We'll get those updated soon.
Yeah,
too.
so 5.9. So
Okay, there we go.
there we go. So those ones are for Tuesday. The cumulative updates for
5.9.
2004. But the question is, I guess, of that one, when did that one fall out of support? Because I see all the latest ones, the 20H2 and so on. I see the ones from 2 days ago.
David's saying he doesn't see it either.
All right. Also,
All mine. So we
we
don't
have
see
some.
it.
So if it's split like that, we definitely have some sort of issue.
Yeah. So if you check out that message above on the top, go back to the screen cap.
Yeah.
We've changed our hosting provider for the package library. So make sure that you whitelist that particular domain. If you click on that, you'll get to a KB that has that listed. That might be the issue. You might want to hit F5. And if you still have issues after that, go ahead and send a ticket to support.
So the last comment in there from Chad's the guy in charge of it. So if there is an ongoing issue, we're now aware of it. If you're still seeing a problem, I'd try the whitelist that JJ mentioned. If you're seeing a problem, absolutely open up a ticket. But it's definitely something we need to keep an eye on.
Kevin did a tickets a few hours ago. Well, they're watching the webcast, Kevin.
You think they're doing support right now?
Come on, man.
So it should be. So we're showing ours is updated. So there's definitely something in there with the new provider. That might be it. Well, I guess we'll just have to wait to see what support says with working with Kevin.
Chad's on it. Chad's a good man.
Yeah. Kevin S. That could be Kevin Sorbo.
It might-
Hercules. Well, he could be. I mean, he's not acting a lot. He may have got into IT.
He's acting a lot. He's acting like a dunce a lot.
Yeah.
Hey now.
Snap.
Don't be.
Shots fired.
Shots fired. All
Shade
right, let's.
thrown.
I wouldn't go at Hercules myself.
I wouldn't either. All right, are we ready for our final question of
Let's
the day?
do it.
Okay. Using inventory, how can I track all computers' manufacture dates for replacements? Melik Darshin.
Oh, I like that. I want to track that.
So I would assume that one's going to be data that is somewhere within WMI. So without knowing the specific query to look for, it's going to be a WMI scanner looking for that particular thing. But I can't come up with specifics on that one. I'm sorry.
I love crap like that. I always want to track really weird crap like that.
Yeah. So I don't think of anywhere within machine outside of WMI where something like that might be stored. But if it's in there, I just don't. WMI is so big. There's so much.
Yeah, the question is, what are you trying to replace, though? Is this like inventory replacement? Yeah, that'd be the question. Yeah, custom attributes for purchase and retired date. I always use BIOS dates because that was always the most up-to-date one I could always find.
You never update BIOS?
No, but for whatever reason, some of them don't pull accurately. So if you're pulling, like, I need to replace these computers each year, I don't know why. That one was always accurate.
It doesn't pull accurately is not a strong endorsement for using it.
Exactly. Well, you're not wrong, but you're not wrong.
So it seems like, James, look like you're getting this point here where he said they use a custom attribute. So
Yeah.
when they buy it, they build a custom attribute.
Yeah.
That's a way to catch it going forward. But if you're looking for the history, if you can't find that information buried in WMI, you're just going to have to do best guess and track it going forward, and it will
Yeah.
become all up to date as you go with
Yeah.
a custom attribute. I like that answer a lot.
And Fortress, no breathalyzer after the webcast, but usually there is a couch in case there needs to be some passing out.
You can just make assumptions and be probably right.
We actually did have a breathalyzer here at one time. Do you guys remember that? Didn't use it very often, but
Yeah,
It was a fun thing.
It's not still here, Chase. I grabbed it the other day. It doesn't work anymore, so I threw it away.
and we thought better not to know.
Yeah. Ignorance is
Yeah,
bliss.
it's better just not be liable and culpable.
Yeah.
We don't need numbers on it.
All right. I think that's it.
Oh, also, do you? The
Oh, wait.
poll
Yes, the
results.
poll results.
Oh, yeah, the poll
Okay.
results.
bloatware, and it wasn't close.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
53%
bloatware blew everyone out of the water.
removing bloatware from Windows 11. I think that's what we'll do next week. You guys down for that
tuned.
one?
Yeah, is that the one you thought?
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
That's the one I thought
believe
too.
I said it was going to be bloatware
Yeah, you
and it
did. You
wouldn't be
called it in
close.
the meeting yesterday. Yeah.
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 Yeah, good job.
I finally got one.
Yay.
Good job, Jordan.
So thank you for all your votes. We appreciate it. This will be our first, by request webcast. It should be kind of cool.
Indeed.
All right, and we're just going to cut this out before JJ can give scores.
Well, I think you won.
If you don't want them.
Oh, no, let's get him.
Okay, let's hear scores.
All right, we've got Chase with 7,000.
Jordan with 10,000. Yeah.
With assistance from the audience. With Tara with 5,000 assistance from the audience.
That's
Glenn with 5,001. So Glenn and Tara
That's really
Right.
are a little bit further than Jordan. And Andrew with 30,000 for his
Oh, go, Andrew.
30th birthday upcoming soon.
I can say well earned. Well earned.
Well earned.
Yeah.
What a
Yes.
victory. I'll take it. I'll take it. Pity wins. Let's do it.
Yeah, you only got to live for 30 years to get that.
All right. Thanks everyone for joining us. I had a lot of fun with PDQ A this time. I don't like when I say please just reach out to support, and hopefully everyone else works with us on that. But hopefully you got the answers you're looking for. Everyone's good to go. For PDQ, I'm Jordan.
I'm Tara.
Thanks for joining our webcast today. Congratulations, Russell K. and Kevin S., winners of PDQ swag. Just send us your info, would you? Webcast@pdq.com. Thanks again for joining us. Please like and subscribe, leave us your comments, and join our Discord if you wouldn't mind. Have a great week. We'll see you back here next time.